Robinson is book border 40 weeks, but after reading her selection, I'm sure she'll want to share with you some other poems. Robin is the author of Flow, named Southwest Book of the Year 2019, and Ridge of High Pressure, forthcoming from Mouthfeel Press. Her poems have appeared in the Paris Review, the Texas Observer, Theology Today, Cimarron Review, and Discamp. Currently, her poems appear in Book of Matches and the Gyroscope Review. Okay. She lives with her husband, her son, and their cat, Mora, in El Paso, Texas, where she writes with the Tumblewords Project. Okay, Robin.
Thank you, Belinda. Thank you for putting out this wonderful book, too. This is the first time I've seen it in physically. Yeah. So, my poem in the book is called Hospitality. You never know when strangers might be angels. Therefore, always let them in. Don't let strangers die of thirst in your desert. They won't know the secret water holes you have mapped in your head as a treasure code. X marks the life you would give to strangers in order to make a friend in the lonely desert, understanding that they would do the same for you and show you the shade of the one tree and acacia hugging the ground, befriending the ants. The migrants in search of water, let them in. Either they're angels or they need one.
Don't know the chorus. It's a secret chord. No.
Yes.
You don't hear that much from you. The minor fall, the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah. Here's your turn. Hallelujah. 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 Your faith was strong, but you needed proof. Stronger than all the roof. Her beauty and moonlight always through. Chair, she broke the crown and she cut your hair. From your lips she drew the hallelujah. Here we go again. Hallelujah. 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 That's really pretty. Maybe I've been here before. I've seen before. I used to live alone before I knew you. I've seen you fighting on marble lark. Love is not a victory march. It's cold and it's a broken hallelujah. 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 Now you never showed it to me, do you? above. And all they ever run for is how to shoot somebody out of here. It's not a cry that you hear at night or from someone who's still alive. It's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah. Here we go. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah,
Well, I'd like to start with a poem. And it says, when I praise, I raise both arms, raise handfuls of hosannas to the sky, shout grace for these blessings, rejoice for the fruits strewn across this board, wide as God's lap. Release your weightless weight. Dive into the ordinary, squash and cornucopia.
Nice.
Last guess.
Okay.
You want to come over here, buddy? Well, I didn't know that there was supposed to be a border theme, and my mind has reached the point where if I don't practice it, I dare not do it. Instead, we're doing this with. We don't do this.
I know, I kind of just want to.
Well, you're running down the road and I'm going slow. There's no time to stop and say hello, no. You gotta reach your final destination. They take you to look around you if you want to succeed. Everybody's better off than either you or me. I say, yes, I see. It's all exaggeration. I said, hey, when you're coming down while we are, can't you hear the sound? It's a last gasp of a dying generation. Everybody's getting stoned, just a getting high. Only $50, so will I. Then I'll sit back in utter fascination. Get in the ship, close the problems, you only answer the sun. Make it bigger, make it go faster. Then you got to call that inspiration. Said, hey, what's coming down while we are? Can't you hear the sound? It's a last gasp of a dying generation. Who's got a kazoo?
I'll be there next time.
Yes, baby, what people do.
What's the girls?
You say anything, you put me up. It's been the little boys and girls. Ain't no wonder we gotta leave this world. Invest your money in space transportation. If you don't believe about it, with the stars on the say maybe the UFO's gonna take you away, but I doubt it. Use your imagination. Hey, what's coming down while we are? Can't you hear the sound? It's the last dance of the generation. Mama says the last gas. I know it's the last gas. This is the last gas of the dying generation. Talking about the last gas. It's the last gas. Last gas of the dying generation.
slightly buzzed from a weekend of poetry, I still retain my white race privilege. Even in prison, as likely as not, I'd be chosen to supervise a work detail or push a lightweight dust mop over air-conditioned floors. Even while homeless, I could shoplift at will. No store detectives following me. Minimum sentences. A million second chances. Even when they took my ID in Santa Fe and wouldn't give it back, my European privilege let me sneak out of town. I cannot apologize for that privilege, the things they feel when they see the big white boy. Hiding brancas, I could drink on the square until after midnight. Los botellas chingonas, cartas y lager, pero los indios were not allowed. I could be arrested on sight. I do not hide from my privilege. I know that it's there. I do not seek it nor deserve it. I know that it's not fair. I do not embrace it. Yet it clings to me with the cement of conquistador armies. White privilege muy fácilmente becomes gringo guilt and shame. But I am not ashamed of myself. I am ashamed for those who look at me and let me go in front of them in the checkout lane at the H-E-B in Edinburgh. Passe, senor. When a checker opens a fresh checkout line, and I have 2 bottles of wine and a 6-pack of tall boys, and they have a SNAP benefits card and Fidel noodles. Passe, senor. And since everyone is gathered here in such a wonderful, beautiful spirit of community and sharing tonight, I'd like to share a prose piece of mine, but it's always felt more like poetry to me. It's the title piece of the North Beach collection. It's about the first time I ever got paid money to read poetry in San Francisco. I sprang from the back of the car in front of the North Beach Hotel on Kearney, my legs unsteady. I'd made it halfway across the country on 5 cocktails and 2 commercial airliners, landing at SFO just about an hour after the early November sun had run off the edge of the continent. The regal, worn woman at the counter had me sign what I needed to sign. No smoking in the room, no guest after 10, yeah. She made a copy of my ID, a Texas driver's license with a dated photograph of me, shaved head, and had just out of prison long enough to have grown the damn thing, Fu Manchu mustache. I got the code to the Wi-Fi and took the elevator to my room, 116, on the 3rd floor. The hallways were dark, old, but clean. Carpet in forest check greens and dark varnished wood. The place was a shithole. But it hadn't gone to shit through dereliction or neglect. I knew that a lot of effort was being put into keeping this shithole the kind of shithole that it was. Glorious North Beach shithole. Perfect shithole. Non-gentrified proletariat shithole. One of the last. Bodhisattva shithole. Hallowed be thy name. I unpacked my single case in a flurry. Enticing smells wafted up to and through the opened, unscreened window in my room. A mix of Chinese noodles, Korean barbecue, something sweet like doughy jelly. Man, I was fucking starving.
Caesar. Oh, Caesar.
I'd eaten at Gaddy's Pizza before leaving off.
That's a real nice person.
And I'd hoped that it'd be enough to see me through until morning, but the drinks and the sudden energy of the vibe of the people of the street, the city got
sit wherever you can, won't it?
I needed
and we
to
do
eat
have
something.
a spillover room, but that's
There was a hunger that couldn't be denied. Maybe there was a diner around. Back down the elevator, out the front door, past the regal, worn mistress of all things that needed signing, I turned right. The noodle places, both of them that I had taken note of while spinning out of the car earlier, were closing up, so I kept walking until I came to a corner. Never go into a place when they're closing. I try to respect everyone enough to give them a chance to knock off from work a minute or two early. Back to families, lovers, loyal dogs, and hungry house cats. The signs here were mostly bilingual, written in Chinese and English. Some were only in Chinese, but a noodle shop is a noodle shop no matter how it's written up, right? And every fucking one of them was closing for the night. The street climbed uphill and pulled me along past neon red-kissed awning Jackson Street, daring me into Chinatown proper, but no, not tonight, not right now. Food. The smells of restaurants all 5 minutes from closing kept luring me, fueling my feet, my mind left out of it mostly. This was pure id. An alley opened up and loomed to my right just past a place called Bun Shanghai. Red paper lanterns hanging from a 3rd or 4th story balcony. Those 2 seconds I knew I'd remember forever in the heart of my mind's eye. Yes. Loving. But no to Chinatown. Hungrier now, walking faster. There has to be something still open. I took a ride on Beckett. Narrow, holy Beckett Street with its murals and clothes hanging out to dry on balconies, neon buzz drifting on the cool, damp air, and that's where I headed, following the red and yellow glow up Pacific to Columbus. The pit of my stomach was growling. A smoke shop. Glass pipes and bongs in the window before me, and I go into the deep space. There are glass countertops and 2 men in the very back. I need some screens. I brought my pipe along in my checked bag and just enough stash not to be detected, but the screen's been needing to be changed for a while, clogged with the resin of 100 sleep-starved Texas nights. The dark-eyed olive men look like brothers, thin, stubbed, beard-faced, and eager. All I need is some screens. How many do you want? The tallest brother asked. How much do you charge? Back in Texas, the shops sell them for 10 for $1. I can sell you a whole bunch for like $5, the guy says. I don't need a whole bunch. I just lose them. Just a few. The shorter, darker brother laughs. Yeah, I know what you mean. Tell you what, how much will this get me? I fish 2 $1 bills out from my pocket and lay them on the counter. The clerk puts 10 dime-sized screens in one of those tiny plastic bags that you only see in the drug culture. This one has tiny pink mushrooms printed on it. I thank them both and leave the head shop grotto back out into the street, right past Vesuvio, the ghost of angry, bitter, fat, drunk, glorious Jack Kerouac taunts. We've drank together here before on previous visits, but we won't tonight. I pass tourist couples from the Midwest taking photos in the alley, digital cameras and cell phones. No more negative images. Everything is perfect. Everything is instant. Everything is existing as a mirror image and shared proof. Proof that we were here, proof that we were there, but no proof of life. Close enough. And some trips close is good enough. It's close enough for the workers at City Lights, glowing cathedral fluorescent bookstore. They're sweeping the floor and tending the shelves. This is the heart so many times broken. The hunger in my stomach, like the hunger of every city sidewalk ever sat down upon. Tosca taunts from across the street. A busker with a massive white dog beside him on the sidewalk. Probably the real thing. Probably a rail rider, a hitchhiker, a pilgrim. He's tuning a guitar but never actually playing it. Looks sober, too sober for this night. And I nod to him as I walk by. The nod says, I've been there. Maybe I still am. Never give up on yourself, brother. Never give up. Live. But no, I know already that he knows all of this, and then I find it. At the right place, at the perfect cosmic time, serving by the slice, and I only need one pepperoni. Nothing tastes like hot street pizza. Texans never get this right. Hot Italian San Francisco. The cat at the corner gives me a slice on a thin paper plate, and it is so hot that it burns my hand as I hold it. I leave the shop and I lean up against the wall outside the corner of Broadway in Columbus, looking up the street at the gaudy, tantalizing, moving, neon, promising topless dancers and cocktails. The Condor, Roaring Twenties, Big Al's, the Beat Museum. I'll be reading my poetry there tomorrow night. It's enough for me to just stand here, the pepperoni of the universe folded in my hands, orange-red grease staining the white paper plate. I stuff it into my mouth like a man who has a bus to catch and an alibi to conjure. An older man, black, with his road-worn cotton beard, stands next to me and asks me to buy his charity newspaper, and I just can't. He understands, and we talk about cheap food in Chinatown and strippers and cigarettes. He claims he can get me a woman, but I know what he really wants is a quick $5 bill. I change the subject to the weather. At least it's not raining as 10 p.m. tourists flow by, all between bites of the best pizza. The sought-after and found pizza, the beat pizza right next to city lights, the neon-born and West Coast pizza street style, Italian, about 1,000,000 times better than Mr. Gaddy's, Austin. It's not just my stomach that I'm feeding. Spanish, Chinese, German, the word sounds from passers-by tell me that this is international pizza, that mine is international hunger, that the man beside me is internationally beaten. From this street corner, where muni buses and fire trucks turn to the farthest, darkest, galactic hunger, it's all that anything's ever been, right here. Not much more to it, really. Just that, galactic beatness. It still exists. Even here where it's packaged and sold. So I finish the crust and fold the plate in half, and then in half again, and then in half again, grease-stained wedge. I turn away from the cotton-bearded man who seems to be headed across Broadway somewhere, off to the twin spires of Peter and Paul. I float back by the beautiful busker and his white dog, tossing the oily plate wedge into a street-side trash can. Like the hotel, the street is seedy, worn, but clean, respected, maintained. Beat is being down, but not out. Never out of the game, never out of chances, never out of hope, never out of style. Back past the glass windows of city lights, books on display like holy Mexican santos. The sacred only works when it's approachable. How many have sat upstairs with the poetry, not as shoppers or even readers, but just to be and listen to the walls, the shelves, the rooftop laundry drying just outside the open windows. How many others have rushed in just to buy a t-shirt or bumper sticker or take a Facebook photo or... Columbus runs at a diagonal, crossing both north-south and east-west streets all the way through North Beach, and I follow it now, back onto Kearney, back towards the hotel. There's a sink in my room, but I haven't a cup or glass to drink from, so I duck into a boba place and order a medium green tea with black pearl boba. The clerk makes it in front of me, and I drop my coin change and $1 into the tip container. I grab the tea and a straw and walk back out into the street. I'll drink it once I'm back in my room. Into the lobby, past the regal woman who seems to be turning things over to a pudgy male clerk. And the elevator is full of 20-something Korean tourists, hip-hop earbuds and hooded sweatshirts. 3, I say, when one of the young women asks me, having switched to English for my benefit, the old white guy, probably down on his luck, probably lives in this shithole. Be kind to him. He's a big guy. But he looks harmless, her eyes say, as she presses the button and smiles. Thank you so much for letting me be part of your beautiful evening here. Thank you. And check out this anthology that just got put together. And I want to congratulate Belinda for her recently bestowed title of Texas Beat Poet Laureate. The cats that publishes this anthology are involved in the organization. Check it out. Thanks so much.
So nice to meet you. Okay. Okay. Larry Lesser will be coming up here in just a moment. He's an award-winning UTEP professor, has published peer-reviewed papers on poetry and shared 90 poems in over a dozen venues such as Talking Poetry, Border Senses Literary Magazine, Bridges Poetry Anthology, several museum exhibits, an NPR station interview, an NEA Big Read event. He's also a former teaching center director, textbook author, and award-winning songwriter who lives in El Paso with his almost equally hairless rescue dog, Keller, and his soulmate, Lori. All right, Larry? All right, yay! Woo.
So it's appropriate for a theme collection on borders, because a lot of the stuff I do is it's sort of at the border of songs and poetry, and sometimes I'll be trying to write a song and realize that, you know, this just needs to be a poem because I'm going nuts trying to make anything rhyme. Not that all songs have to have rhyme either, like John Denver's Annie song and Moonlight in Vermont don't have rhyme. But other times, like this piece I wrote, Break, you know, sometimes I'll write something starting off like a poem and then I realize I can make this rhyme, I can sing this. So the story behind this is actually only the second time I've done this in public. The first time was quite memorable because it was, I had the backing of a 20-member Arabic music ensemble in the Fox Fine Arts recital hall at UTEP. And they were all like incredible musicians. So that's how you get better, is you play with people way beyond you, right? And the song comes from dialogue with a UTEP colleague who's now moved on somewhere else, but he's a Palestinian American, and I'm a Jewish American. So I knew that we would have different views and even different words for the Arab-Israeli conflict. But I love that we found so much common ground, not only on that topic, but on all kinds of things. And we did acts of kindness for each other. We shared frankly about work and food and life as a faith minority in America. And you know, my piece in this volume was just sort of like tucked in there with any other piece. And you know, it's just surreal that 3 weeks after the book comes out, suddenly this topic is constantly on the news. So it's, I'm sure I'm going to look at my song differently right now. But once my friend Castro was sharing with me about his upbringing in Ramallah, and then he stopped and he said, you know, we can only do this because we're here at UTEP. Like, we couldn't do this over there. And that really got me thinking about what it takes to break stereotypes and to break barriers to be able to sit and break bread. And so I called the song Break. So here it is. And it's on page 127 if you want to, or something like that. Read along. All right, let's try. Here in the States, we can easily meet. Speak of homeland over pita bread and sweets. But if you're in Ramallah and me in Tel Aviv, there would be barriers between. Different versions of the history show how far we have to go to see our common ground and how we love the land, our common root of Abraham. We seek faith through the fear, sure as we break bread here. When your father died, you did not head home. Crossing the ocean was not the big unknown. It was the checkpoint that could block your way back. That shows what we each lack. The God we know wants war to cease. We both hope for lasting peace. We could meet in each other's homes. Now we build on what we know. Seeking faith through the fear, sure as we break bread here. Break through faith, break through fear, break new ground, break bread.